to the Our Vibes podcast.
Yay!
We are a group of Latina content creators that you've probably seen on TikTok, but you don't really get to know us through TikTok. So that's why we're doing this podcast. You can get to know us a little bit more. There's so much to talk about.
There's so much.
We're excited.
Way too much. Yeah, because like on Reels on TikToks, we don't really get to like know our story because we're doing like trends, and then you can only do so much in like 3 minutes.
Seriously.
Yeah. So now because our vibes is like we're from different backgrounds, now we're gonna explain our different backgrounds and our purpose.
Yeah. Show you our vibes.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it fun because we all have different backgrounds, different ways from where we came from, where we grew up. So that's what makes it, diversity makes a group richer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in general, we're a group of Latina content creators from Southern California, and we'll start introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
I'll start.
Alphabetical order.
I'm Caroline. I am the founder of Our Vibes Media. We've been going since January of 2020. I grew up in West Covina, SGV in the house. I'm half Tejana, half Mexican, so 100% Chicana. And I just love creating and have always loved performing and making people laugh. And so that's why I'm so grateful to be a part of this table.
Yes.
Vanessa, you wanna go next?
Okay, I'm next. I'm Vanessa. I grew up in Orange County, born and raised. I love creating as well. I majored in film in college, but didn't really know where to go after that, especially because there was a pandemic right when I graduated. So I was like, what do I do now? So I'm really glad that I was able to find our vibes and digitally create. So I'm fun.
Well, I'll introduce myself next. My name is Jennifer. I was born and raised in Orange County, but I also live in Pomona, so I guess go OC and go Pomona. I'm a social media manager. I love all things marketing on my spare time. I just really like creating content. I also create content on Cruise My Closet. Shameless plug. I like to talk about fashion and just do rants and other things. Yeah, that's me.
So I guess it's my turn. Hi, I'm Mafer. I guess I could say I'm the diversity hire because I'm the only one who didn't grow up in SoCal. I'm Ecuadorian, born and raised. I am from Guayaquil, and I moved to the U.S. in February 2016. It's been almost 7 years now.
Wow.
So,
yeah. You guys forgot to say what you do at Our Vibes. So I'm the founder.
That's true.
I kind of lead everybody. But these are talented content creators, strategists, video creators, and Mafer designed our gorgeous logo and is a really talented animator, illustrator. That's what she is going to school for. And Our Vibes. So we create content by Latinas for Latinas, and we started kind of wanting to create our own representation. We started off kind of we're gonna be a brand new media company. Their TikTok was still super early. Not a lot of people knew how to use it yet, and
I didn't even have it downloaded. I had to do it because of her.
And so we were gonna be this big media company, and then so much has changed in the past 3 years that now it's the core four of us kind of just creating whatever we want and doing it more for fun. We're not in the nitty gritty of trying to become a media mogul, but just entertaining and creating whatever we want. And I think that's what has made us
blow up. I do want to go back. I don't think we explained how we each came together.
Yeah, that's important.
That's
origin story.
Important because that's how it happened. So Caroline, the founder, how did you rope us all in?
Our Vibe started with me and my co-founder Cheryl Desir, who lives in Arizona now.
Shout out to Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl, we miss ya.
We met at a coffee shop, and I looked up to Cheryl because she had done internships at other Latino media companies, and she was studied journalism. I studied visual communications and film. And we just didn't relate to the other journalism kids in school. We just wanted to make funny videos, but also inform and make a difference through digestible content. So I was like, why don't we start a media company? And because we were having a hard time getting jobs. It's hard for all recent grads to get a job. And so we're let's start our own thing, learn, get that experience. And then when we're applying to jobs, we look even better. And then we reached out to other content creators that we knew, like Jennifer. Jennifer was really talented in the marketing space, and we, I'm gonna segue to you. How did we approach you?
Well, actually, I was in advertising at the time. I was working for a Hispanic advertising agency, and I really wanted to get into entertainment. So, like you, I also admired Cheryl, and one of my mentors suggested I reach out to her to kind of get some insight on how she entered the entertainment industry and like if she had any pointers and tips. And so I reached out to her. We met up for coffee. We chatted. She gave me some pointers, and then towards the end, I guess we kind of hit it off. And she's like, "What are you doing on Saturday?" I was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, well, we're all, me alongside Caroline are trying to put together like a group of content creators to start a media company. Like, would you be interested in helping us like manage some of the social media strategy?" And I was like, "Oh, that sounds like fun." Like, I secretly always wanted to be a content creator, but I feel like I was too scared to like go out there. Yeah. So I was really excited about it, and I did want to enter entertainment. So I was like, sure. And so Cheryl roped me in. So again, shout out to Cheryl. I wouldn't be here without her. But yeah, and fun fact, I've never met Cheryl in my life until that day. It's just cool that we like hit it off, and she hit it. She like invited me, right? Yeah. I had seen her at a prior event, but like we didn't really get to chat. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of how we approached Mafer too, because you and Mafer were like there from the very beginning. Like, how did you feel when we approached you with this? Like, did you think we were taking it seriously, or like, what was in your head?
I was very impressed. I'm slightly older than both of you, so when I was seeing you guys be such go-getters, I was like, gee, I wish I was like this when I was younger. Like, you guys looked hungry and ambitious, and I really admired that about both of you. So I was really excited about that. And I think also like just getting a bunch of content creators that have like an emphasis in communications and stuff like that was also very appealing to me, because I'm like, oh, everybody knows what they're doing, you know? And everyone's excited. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I admired both of your guys' ambitions to put together something, because most people just like join something versus like creating their own. Yeah. So I thought that was good.
Was it an easy yes for you?
It was, because like I said, I always wanted to like start content creating. So I feel like I didn't. And I also like social media. So it was like a combination of both that got me really excited. And also just like I didn't know Caroline at the time. So I went to go like stalk her on Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. Who's Caroline? Thank God you had a public profile, girl, because you would have made my work hard. No, but I went to go see her. I'm like, oh, she's pretty active in like the content space. So that gave me also a good feeling that like, oh, okay, that's great.
She knows what she's doing.
She saw my old sketches.
I did. And she had a pretty grid and everything. I was like, okay, she knows what's up. And then Cheryl, I just kind of had heard things within her network about her work ethic. Yeah. So that was enough for me to trust.
Okay. Mafer?
Where do I start? It was an easy yes for me, 100%. Okay. But more for Caroline's my best friend at this point anyway. So, and even though no one believes me all this, I'm an introvert. I'm very shy. I am very socially awkward. And Caroline was literally my only friend. I've been here already for almost 4 years. I was like, I don't have any other friends. Like, you know what? At least I'll meet people. I'll put myself out there. What's the worst thing that can happen?
You were mean to me the day we met.
Oh, we're bringing that up. Okay.
The tea comes out.
It's like important. Like, so we were.
It wasn't the day that we met.
Oh, it wasn't the day other. So she had been sitting next to me every day at this graphic design class at Mount Sac that I decided to take for fun during the summer to learn like Photoshop and stuff. And the teacher's like, you have to pick a partner and do a project together. So I turned to her and I was like, you want to be my partner? And she's like, okay. But like, first she was like,
it wasn't like that.
You're like, I don't think we need to have partners.
Damn. Is it because you wanted to be by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she give you bad vibes?
No, not really. It's just I'm very shy. Like that was, I think, my like the second class I was ever taking at Mount Sac. I hadn't spoken with anyone the prior semester. I was like consumed with work and school. Like I was like, I don't have time for friends and stuff. And also I was shy. So I think we had prow exchanges, like a couple of works, like hi, good morning when we both got there. And Caroline teaching me how to turn on the freaking computer because I'm not a Mac person. So I was like, and I have really bad experiences just working group projects. Like, if anyone from my high school is seeing this, you guys are going to find out. We, like, to graduate high school back home, you have to do a project similar to a thesis, like presenting a thesis, but shorter. And I decided to do it as a partner with one of my other friends, and I ended up doing the whole project by myself. And she didn't turn in the part of her work.
That's interesting because you didn't let me help with the project.
Because she had bad experience before.
But she wanted like full control. It was like to make this like nursery on Photoshop, and it was like completely Star Wars. You know, I don't care about Star Wars. You know, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan.
Caroline doesn't like anything pop culture. It gets frustrating.
I know pop culture.
One thing is to know it, one thing is to like it.
Okay, yeah, this is my best friend, y'all. Yeah, that's how we met.
It was fun. I was like, I don't know if it's mandatory. It's like, do we really need to get a partner for the project? Because I just wanted to do it myself. But if it's just like, do you want half the grade? I was like, okay, fine. I guess we can do it together.
Yeah, and then she started warming up to me, but...
Hearing all this, how did you rope her in?
Oh.
You guys didn't like each other.
We were friends already at that point.
Yeah, we were friends at that point. By 2020, we had been friends for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And she's like the only illustrator animation girl I knew at the time, and I knew she was talented. Hey, I knew she was talented.
So it was because she didn't know anyone else. Got it.
You just said you didn't know anyone else.
And you were talented. You missed that part.
You missed that part. But yeah, she was talented and did our pretty logo, and I was like, hey, you want to, for all of us, it was to build our portfolio, it was to make content, it was to build a brand together. And so she expanded her portfolio, we would expand our portfolio with video and social so much, and then a year later this girl comes into my DMs and her name is Vanessa.
I slid into her DMs.
100%.
And then you can take the story.
I don't even remember it. Yeah, I slid into your DMs because it was like the pandemic, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with my career? There is no hope. And I was like, I saw what Our Vibes was, and I was like, this. I think a little before, someone had told me, like, have you heard of Our Vibes? Like, they're doing this thing. What? You should ask if they need help or anything. And I was like, okay. And then I did see it and I did admire it. So, and I don't, like, something bold in me was like, I'm going to do it because, like, there's no hope.
We're all very pessimistic here. Like, you know what, might as well.
Yeah, throw your hat in the ring kind of thing.
Honestly, you're one of the best things to happen to Our Vibes. You're so talented and so funny. And you weren't the first person to slide into our DMs or like email us. Like, people had been emailing us saying, like, do you have any internships? Or like, how do I join? And that's it. Like, we were like freaking out every time we would get those messages. Yeah. We were like, we don't know how to respond. Like,
and I was like, here, let me make work for myself.
You were the only person that was like, hey, I have this idea. I'll do it.
She had her full pitch, everything.
Yeah. Like, okay. Because I did see that you guys were like, not that you didn't know where you're going, but you were at the beginning where you kind of like, where do we go up? It's only up from here, but like, how do we get up there?
Yeah. And also we were super stuck because it was like right at the pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic.
And we were like, well, we had decided we were going to be shooting content together. We could not meet up. So what are we going to do it online?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. The entire first year was like Zooms after Zooms, and we were only able to film like the first footage and TikToks like that February before COVID hit.
And I think the week before in March, like before they shut everything down. I have pictures.
It was wild.
And fun fact about that, all the content you saw in 2020 we filmed in one day in February.
Well, like it was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It was a full weekend.
But still, it was like one weekend.
Yeah.
And so much has changed. Like we started Our Vibes because we wanted jobs, and then like that's what happened with Cheryl. She got a really big opportunity with a media company, and so she shifted to there, and then you came in, and so much has changed. We like really dove in. I feel like the 4 of us just clicked in like the type of content and humor that we have, and it's just like it's worked.
Yeah, I'm glad we're here.
Me too. I wanted to ask, like, what goes into how you guys, like, the content that you create? Like, I'm sure we all have kind of a different mindset into, like, what are we going to create and why?
Jennifer?
Yeah, sometimes it's a struggle, right? Like, I feel like I wish I could be creative every week, but how I've kind of started the brainstorming session is I try to think... Well, first start scrolling through TikTok and see what's trending when I'm like completely frozen and kind of go from there, like pick an audio and then try to find a scenario where I can plug that in. But when that's not working for me and none of the TikTok sounds, I kind of just try to like sit in my room and be like, okay, what happened to you this week that like you're pressed about, or you want to talk about, or you want to rant
Bad
about?
Bunny did this week,
right?
Oh, trust me, I'm mad. I'm mad with
Kendall.
this one.
And go from there, and then kind of try to find how it can relate to people and be able to say that in a story. But I know sometimes it's a struggle when you're doing it by yourself versus like as a group. But yeah, I guess the content creation process looks different every week. Yeah.
I think same, like the day before, I'm like just scrolling mindlessly and be like, there has to be something. But at the beginning, I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna post. And then Caroline's like, you're gonna post today, and I'm like, oh great. What do I do? And kind of just like what kind of the same thing that you do, but also like what is going on that everyone can relate. Like maybe find like, what's that saying? Specificity is
universal.
Specificity is universal, because I think if it's like it fits so specific, then it's like funnier because it's like we all have the same life.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point, because I feel like in the beginning sometimes I didn't want to be so specific because I felt like I need to be like more generic so it could be more relatable.
Yeah.
But then I would realize the more specific you got, the more you like niched, or it like went on someone's For You page and it's like, oh, the people that are messy, or the people that like coffee, and it's more niched. And I think that's something that people don't really touch on.
Yeah, I feel like our content has changed so much, because at the beginning we're like, how do we make this Latino? How do we make this Latino? We gotta be a Latino company, and then like avocados, tacos, conchas, yada yada yada. And then we realized like that's why we started in the first place, because we wanted to be different from that.
Yeah, because we were falling into the same stereotypes that we were trying to like steer away from, but at the same time get people to like follow, because that's the only content we would see out there.
Yeah, it's the struggle being Latino creators, because like you want to avoid the stereotypes, but a lot of the top content and creators
are stereotypes.
Are stereotypes. And so I feel like we've gotten a lot better over the years, because now we've like realized we can share our own stories, like being Latina Swifties. I talk about it's just like conversations I have with my mom without having to put a towel on my head. And coffee shops that I like it's just not about like our identity is more than being Latina. Like we all come from the same place. We all we went to Catholic Fullerton. But we all have like different lives and different ages and things going on. What about you? What do you create?
Why are you looking me up for?
What's your creative process?
For me, it's different because I'm the only one who's not a video producer. I'm the illustrator. So,
but you're always willing to be in videos.
Yeah, I'm willing to be in the videos as long as I don't have to do them by myself, because I don't know how to do it. I'm barely like 3 years later, I'm finally getting to figure out how the heck to post on my own TikTok and just like figure out how it works and all this little things here and there. But for me, it's more like, okay, what can I do to put myself out there in a way that I'm not showing my face, but that I'm still putting out some of my personality. So whether that is with illustration, sometimes it's with little stuff that reminds me of home. Like the girls will ask me like, hey, I need you to be in this video. I'm like, just tell me what to do, I'll do it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out in a way.
You're always down. That's what I appreciate about you. And I also wanted to mention, like, you're so underrated. I feel like we're all underrated, but like your content gets a bunch of shares. Like even though it's a little bit more spread out than our content, your horoscope stuff, your like mental health illustrations get a bunch of shares, and like it's reaching a lot of people. And I hope you remember that.
Thank you.
Always remember that.
I try to. I always feel guilty because I feel like I'm the one who like does the less work, because I don't do it as often.
No.
But it's a long time to do what you do.
But also it's like I'm also in school, so I'm just like juggling work and school and life and being a dog mom, because my dog drives me nuts, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, and everyone's like, oh, I'm posting this, and I'm like, I feel so bad because I see you guys like doing the content every single day, and I'm like, I can't put that much out there. There's not enough up here sometimes to function.
But you're appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
you're not alone in the anxiety.
No.
You're gonna make me cry on camera. Thanks.
No. I was gonna go more into college, but we're gonna save that for the next episode.
Ooh.
This episode is brought to you by Chismosa Cafe in Covina.
Okay, so I do want to talk about the fact that how many followers do we have, first of all?
I think we're at 45K on TikTok.
Okay.
And
I think
7K on Instagram.
Isn't it more? I think it's more.
Well, it should be more, so follow us.
It's like
Yeah.
5.5.
Okay,
By
perfect.
by the time this goes live, we should be at least 20K over.
Yeah,
So.
okay.
We're following us.
So I do want to ask each of you, like, when's the moment that you saw just, like, the numbers shoot up individually, like, and then as a whole? So who would like to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
So we are coming to you live from Chismosa Cafe here
Hey.
in Covina. Shout out to our sponsor. They have a really cute setup. You
Yes.
can't really see it yet, but you can see it on my TikTok that blew up. That was my first TikTok that I was like, whoa, it was at the first location in West Covina. And I went with my mom just to have brunch and like, I didn't even put that much effort into the TikTok, if I'm being honest, and it's like 500,000 views, and that's kind of what kickstarted our relationship with Chismosa, and I like come here all the time, and
This girl is a regular at this point.
Shout out to Chismosa Cafe.
Shout out.
Hi, Alan.
Hey, Alan.
and it's like. It's weird, like, seeing people be like, oh my gosh, I went to that coffee shop because of you. Like, strangers, too. And, like, people from high school, like, messaging me, like,
really?
I saw your video. And I'm like, I haven't talked to you in, like, 10 years. But thanks. Yeah, what about you guys?
So that was, like, the video that, like, for your individual video that you saw just go up?
Yeah.
But when's the moment that you saw, like, our vibes just go up for you?
I feel like it was
After the
like
Chismosa?
that video brought in a lot of followers and people being like, oh my gosh, I didn't know about you, and oh my gosh, I didn't know about Chismosa. So that one, and okay, I just had like a little
Epiphany.
Brain fart.
yeah. So the moment was when Alan, the owner of Chismosa Cafe, DM'd me and was like, people are coming from like Bakersfield
Oh my god.
and like San Francisco. Your TikTok went all the way over there, and I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
and like we were getting comments on the video, like being like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna drive all the way to Covina to go try it. And I'm just like, wow, like we're reaching people that like aren't just in a 10-mile radius of
Yeah.
nuts. So that was really cool.
Okay, Jennifer.
That's cool. That's an interesting question because I feel like there has been videos that blown up with people. I saw you on my timeline, or I did a video of like first generation struggles.
Yeah.
And my ex-boss messaged me and she's like, I saw your video in my friend's Instagram stories, and I was like, wait, this isn't her Instagram. And hearing kind of those stories, and then another friend, like, every time I do little white crusty dog content, it blows up. And people are like, I saw your video on the white crusty dog. And those videos have like performed well for me.
Yeah.
But I guess the biggest thing that I'm like, oh, like people are watching is when people that I haven't really spoken to say like really inspiring things. And that's what's very interesting of becoming a content creator. You think that the people closest to you are going to be the most supportive, but it's actually strangers.
Oh.
And I went to like a party, and some girl I hadn't talked to in years, like from high school, she's like, I see your content all the time, like it's so inspiring, blah blah blah. Or like I've gotten really nice messages saying like, keep up the great work, from like strangers, like I love your content, I followed you guys, this and that. So I feel like that's been what's like been interesting to me. And then also her video that she had created, because one of my ex-coworkers said, oh my god, guess what, like my boyfriend's brother went to Chismosa Cafe because she saw the TikTok. And I was like, oh, people are like listening
Influenced
to what
by us.
yeah. And I think that's what's been like the biggest shock for me.
Mafer?
I have two actually. One that I just told Caroline. This one was more like individually. We got invited to that Casa TikTok event a few months ago. And I'm rarely on the TikToks. I don't really show face, but you know, I'm there when the girls ask me to. Yeah. And we were at this group, and Caroline's like, Juicy, I'm like, oh, you're Mafer. And I'm like, how do you know who I am?
You're the redhead.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess people recognize I can't change my hair color anymore, I guess.
Yeah, you can.
It's your identity.
No. Yeah.
That one is one. The second one is, and this one, like we went viral, like literally internationally, and it kind of backfired.
Oh.
Yeah, we got some mean comments. We had a video blow up in Ecuador.
Yeah, that's why Caroline doesn't let me cuss anymore on camera.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then you're like, oh my God, we're worldwide.
No, people are probably like wondering, like, what kind of mean comments? Like body comments.
Just bad shaming. People are rude. But it was crazy because I didn't find out until I literally got like a bunch of text messages from my friends back in Ecuador. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? You're viral. I'm like, what? We were starting to get reposted on Ecuadorian meme pages and stuff. And then my ex was like, hey, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh my God. We're on good terms. But I was like, dude, how do I explain this?
Yeah.
And then my mom saw it. It wasn't great. I got in trouble.
Did your mom see it? Not from like the Ecuadorian meme pages? Oh,
yeah.
That's when you know you made it.
Yeah, she wasn't happy. She doesn't like me cussing. So she was like, why are you saying that stuff on camera? And I'm like, sorry.
It's for entertainment.
Yeah. So we make clean content.
Yeah, unfortunately. Just
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
But like something that you guys kind of have in common is like people kind of see, it's that weird feeling of being seen for the first time. It's like really special.
Yeah.
And like I've always been kind of like geeky my whole life. So like getting like having videos go viral and like people being like, oh my gosh, you make me laugh. Like I went here because of you. It's really special to like feel seen.
Yeah.
For the first time, thanks to TikTok.
Yeah. The first time it happened to me, well, like I came in kind of like a little later, but I remember once, I think it was you, Caroline, you're like, our views are low. And I'm like, this is low? And I'm like, okay. But yeah, like just the fact that like sometimes we break like to K's is insane. Yeah. And also like I think you said it earlier how like something that is so low effort becomes like this big thing. So yeah.
It'd be the stuff you don't try and that blows up. And then you're like, ooh, and the stuff you try and you're like, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That the bathtub video we like the TikTok we filmed for the
Taylor Swift.
That took so much.
That was so funny too to film.
Yeah.
That one's one of my favorite videos to film.
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm down.
We make great Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all make great Taylor.
Shout out to the Swifties.
We've had so many like special moments come from our vibes that like I never would have dreamed of growing up. Like honestly, it wouldn't have happened. It would have been our group effort. So I wanted to ask, like, what has been your favorite Our Vibes moment so far?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I feel like I have so many, just because like I never thought I'd do this, and the fact that it happened so early on to when I joined the Northgate videos. And then how we went to like a stadium and I met Memo Ochoa. I was like, oh my God, this is my life.
I was so jealous.
Yeah. Shout out to Northgate and
Crest.
Wait, no, that was shout out to Oral B.
Oh yeah,
shout out to Crest Oral
shout out to toothpaste.
Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth, yo.
Brush your teeth. No, yeah, like the Northgate too. It was like the fact that I was doing it at my local neighborhood Northgate, and like the carniceria dudes were like, they're doing a TikTok, and I was like, what am I doing? But I was like, oh my God, I'm doing this. Yeah,
that was cool.
For me, it was the Casa TikTok event, and the one we went to, the Todo Verde one. Mainly because it's the only two I've gone to. I'm always in class and I'm always with work. I know, we're getting invited. It's fun. And like I finally get to go because I'm always stuck at work or stuck in class. Especially before when I worked retail, I was like, I don't have a social life anymore. But now I kind of do, so it gets fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
I feel like for me, it's not a specific moment or event. It's more of the process. I think seeing brands reach out to us to want to collaborate is always like shocking to me because I feel like it hasn't hit me. Like I'm proud of all the work that we've done, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like my life has changed yet. Like in a, like it's paying my bills and stuff way. But I'm very, very proud of like how far we've come and the growth. And I think that's what's most special to me. Like, every time I go into interviews, they're like, oh, what's something that you're proud of from like a social perspective? And I'm like, our vibes, that we were able to grow it from the bottom up.
Yeah.
And I think like we're like focused sometimes on numbers or something like that, or like growing, but we forget like, I actually just enjoy every moment that I have with you ladies and when we go do things. So I guess it would be like the process versus like specific event.
Yeah.
The process and the friendship, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the friendship.
Seriously, we didn't know each other when we met, so that's pretty
That's
big.
why it was like we were literally met this first time, and I was like, "Hi." It's like kind of like first you should have gotten like name badges or something the first time we met because we were all like looking at each other.
And now we're getting sent spam reels by Mafer and the
Yeah.
getting to Christmas gifts.
Sending memes is my love
I
language.
know. We love you for it.
And not responding is my love language.
Oh yeah, no, she never replies.
And my favorite moment, like I've always wanted, my passion is always to like uplift and give opportunities to like other people. And so being able to kind of use the Our Vibes platform to amplify a filmmaker friend of mine who was part of the McDonald's Spotlight Dorado, and then getting invited, like all Our Vibes getting invited to we got invited to the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. We were like partying with Diego Tinoco from On My Blog.
And that red carpet event you guys went to.
That's right. Yeah, that one.
Red carpet.
And first of all, I used to work at McDonald's, and then I was at the McDonald's red carpet.
Started from the bottom right here.
And the other one, the one for that Bill and the Telenovela thing.
Oh, that was another.
Oh, that was
carpet.
another one. Yeah.
But like being able to be at a party with like these actors that I look up to, and like other TikTokers like Emily Uribe, I was just like imposter syndrome hit.
Yeah. I couldn't even believe it was real. That's why I forgot about it.
Yeah, and it was just so special. That and the Casa TikTok party, like being there with TikTokers that we've always looked up to. It's been really special.
That tarot reading at the Casa TikTok event was a good one too.
The tarot reading.
It changed my life.
That was like one of the best influencer parties like ever. Like TikTok.
We saw Snow the product.
Huh?
Snow the product.
That's not the product.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
We saw, you
You
performances.
can watch a recap on our TikTok.
We got sprayed with champagne.
Just scroll and see what we're talking about this whole time.
Just see every single one and like it and comment and save. And then share it with all your family.
Yeah.
Now I want to look a little bit into the future. So if we can share.
Speaking of tarot cards.
I could have brought it.
Talk a little bit about like what are your current passions, and then how do you hope to take that with Our Vibes this future? What do you let's manifest together on the podcast?
Let's manifest right now. 3, 2, 1. Who wants to start?
There you go.
Who has a clearer vision of the future? Or hopes?
I hope to still be alive. I don't know.
Alive?
Do what?
I hope to still be alive. I don't know the future. I don't know.
We're going to be alive.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think it's kind of like we don't know where we're going to go, because we didn't even like imagine these opportunities until like want to see into the future where we feel like it's gonna go. It's like
we're very go with the flow people.
Yeah.
Like, trust the universe.
I'm not, but I kind of have to at this point. So,
well, like my passion is social media. I like love multicultural marketing and like just being able to tell stories and uplift stories from our community specifically. So I hope to be able to continue to grow Our Vibes and continue like pulling out stories out of us that have always been meant to be shared, and like be able to share our platform with other people as well.
I don't even know.
I know. I'm like trying to think the future, right?
Future
It's like I feel like you just asked me like, what are your plans in 5 years?
Like, you went to school wanting to be a writer.
Oh yeah,
right?
I went to school wanting to be a writer, and I feel like that's what. Well, I went to school to be a writer, and I got my minor in Chicano studies because I really wanted to like blend those two together and create representation. So I feel like me just being in Our Vibes is like I made it, but like I do want to tell more stories with like cultural backgrounds and not make a difference, but represent. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll turn into a film studio or something.
that would be amazing.
Filmed by Our Vibes Media.
Our
Speaking
Vibes
into
Studios.
existence.
Speaking into
Directed
existence.
by Vanessa
Yeah.
Sunny.
We're gonna see our logo one
Starring
day.
all of us.
We're gonna see our logo one day, just like in a big skyscraper in LA.
Yeah.
I just want a neon sign.
I
That
was
would
in
be so
Mexico
cute.
and I'm like, how many US dollars did it take to just rent that billboard right there and put our logo on it?
That would be cool.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you want to do in the future? Like yourself?
Myself, I'm always thinking about that question. I don't know the answer right now, but I do know that I really, really enjoy telling stories, and I feel like I want to continue to get better at doing that. So sometimes I have an idea, but I execute it in different ways, and I just want to, I guess, clean the process on how I do that.
I do, since you're mentioning that, I do want to say that you've grown so much as like with like TikToks
Your
and like
confidence?
yeah,
I didn't
your
know
confidence
I didn't know how to
has
use
grown.
TikTok when you did.
This girl slays.
And now you're like doing a skit. I'm like, you go, girl.
That's what I'm trying to do more
Yeah.
of, but I had to teach myself how to use TikTok, and then I had to teach myself how to edit videos, and then do the angles and the editing, and so I think continue to, I guess, grow my craft in that. But
You're already a social strategist, though.
Thank you.
And, like, that's why we brought you on board, because you have so much expertise in like all the platforms, and it just continues to.
I think that's gonna be one goal for me for the future for our vibes is see like how we can grow the marketing avenues and how we currently are, because I started off as a strategist and then I got into content creation because of the pandemic, so now I'm more of a content creator, but I do want to be able to hybrid between both and kind of go back a little bit to that as well, so that we can continue to grow.
Oh, I see.
You want to rep? We need a little bit more of your Ecuadorian
Yeah.
ness.
It's just
And
you,
it's
I
what you
can't.
wanna do.
I
You
can't.
wanted to rep your country.
Oh no, 100%. But I can't cuss either, so I kind of have to like think what I'm
Because
doing
that's
here.
part of your culture.
But you know what? Honestly, yes. Ecuadorians curse a little bit too much, and we will like mix food with the cursing. It gets weird, but it's just like for me, it's so weird. I'm like to even think about the future because I mean, heck, I graduated high school in 2015, and then we're like, oh yeah, we're moving to the U.S. I'm like, what? And I didn't want to move here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have my friends, my family, everything back there, and it was a very hard transition for me. And I was like, okay, let's start here. When I first graduated high school, I wanted to do psychology, and I was like, I'm gonna be a psychology major. I'm gonna go to Stanford. Then I got here, saw how much college costs. I'm like, yeah, Stanford isn't happening. Community college, okay. I kind of changed in majors, went into graphic design. That's where I met Caroline in class, and was mean to her, and I'm still hearing about it. 7 years later. And I was like, you know what? I like this. Like, I like the creative side, but it's too commercial. And our professor was like, why don't you try animation? I'm like, that's a thing? I can do that. Okay. I kind of jumped ship, and I'm still like, I like the character design and the storyboarding. I love the telling of the stories and actually like putting all the stuff together. I'm still trying to find a way to, not just for representation wise, but because I feel like even though I'm a big history nerd, I'm an art history major and I love it, like Greek mythology and all the classic stuff, there is so much stuff in mythology and just native, indigenous stuff back home, and so many just how rich your culture is. And I'm like, I kind of want to figure out how to find a way to bring those stories to life. So that's kind of where I'm right now. I'm just trying to graduate community college because I'm at this point, I'm on my 7th year, girl.
You will, and we'll talk about more of that in the next episode.
Dun dun dun.
Tease.
So,
Where do you see yourselves going, founder?
Huh?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I want to be able to give more people a platform. I want to be able to grow, and just expand our stories and diversify the different stories that we get to, give a platform to other people. I'd love to go to like red carpets and interview. And get to know, because like not all Latinos are the same. We know that we all got different opinions. People going on podcasts, triggering other Latinos on different things. And so, anyways,
that and we grow so much from a year to another. Not just like obviously like on the social media
that's
aspect,
why
but
we can't wrap
personally.
our heads around the future because we've just
It's changing.
everything's changing.
Yeah, everything's changing.
Yeah, the person I was like when we first started the Vibes, and now it's very different.
Now we're starting a podcast.
I know.
I am so excited we finally started this thing because I've been bugging you forever. I'm like, we should do a podcast. I'm like,
because you're a
I
podcast
know.
person.
Yeah, like I don't like I can talk. Like give me my microphone, I'll talk everyone's ear for even if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Put me in front of a camera and then I get shy, which is why I'm not looking at the camera.
Oh, okay.
Right? I guess we can all agree we're excited. Though.
We're excited for
about
the
this.
future.
Super
We don't know what's
excited.
coming, but we're excited for the things that we don't know are coming.
I think wherever we end up, as long as we continue to uplift our community, I feel like we'd all be happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And doing it our way and in our vibes.
Hey, trying to put that in.
In this episode, we answered the main question:
What is our vibe?
And who are we?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening, watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram.
Send it
at
to your
Our
mom.
Vibes, at Our Vibes Media.
Yeah, and stay tuned for more.
Bye.